Hello, it is Friday, October 4th, about 3:30 in the afternoon. I'm back here on the Superior Hiking Trail to finish what I started last weekend. So, when I was up here last weekend, I set out to do about 100 miles on the Superior Hiking Trail, and due to a bunch of, I don't know, sort of petty, adverse circumstances, I kind of realized on the third day that I wasn't going to achieve my goal. So basically, the fourth day I just did a long day hike, and the fifth day kind of just leisurely hung out at camp and went home. So got about 75 miles in. Ooh, there's nice people already. Are we surprised? I don't think so. Not at all. Not at all surprised. Here. Let's keep the camera forward instead of at my face. This is better to look at anyway. Anyway, so I basically came up 25 miles short. So I decided to come up here this weekend and finish the last 25. I think on my map it looks more like 28. I'm sure in reality it'll end up being more like 30 something based on the way things went last weekend, but whatever. So this was made possible by our friends the Crowthers, who are gonna come and shuttle me back to my trailhead on Sunday, so really appreciate it. I suppose I could have chartered a shuttle, but it'll at least be nice to see them and catch up a little bit. So, my route for this weekend, I parked my car starting at the Silver Bay Trailhead. Gonna hike slash hopefully mostly trail run to at least the Beaver River campsites, which is like 3.5 or 4 miles, and then hopefully, well, for sure I'll camel up on water there, because I know that there's not a lot of water out here right now. Maybe I'll make it to the next campsite, which the name of it escapes me, but pretty sure it's going to be a dry site, even though normally it wouldn't be. But then from there, tomorrow I'm going to go another 20 some miles, hopefully make it to the backcountry sites in Gooseberry, And then Sunday, hike another, I think it's only like 4 or 5 miles out to the Castle Danger Trailhead, where I'm going to get picked up and shuttle back to my car. So that's the plan. We'll see if it works out. Right, we are about 6.5 or so miles in. I decided I'm gonna try to make it to the Fault Line Creek site, which is something like 2 or so miles away, I think. Look at this view, wow. The only thing is, based on what I saw up here last weekend, and I don't think there's been any sort of substantial rain, I would be real surprised if there was water in the creek there. I think typically there would be, but that just seems super unlikely today. So basically I cameled up at Beaver Creek, or Beaver River. I filled up my 3-liter bladder, as well as my 2 3/4 liter bottles. So actually I weighed my pack before I left, and fully loaded with everything except for that extra 3 liters of water, I was sitting at like 25 pounds. So add another 2, 4, 6, almost 7 pounds to that right now. So probably over 30 pounds, but at least it's a short day. Makes it a little bit more manageable. Let's take a look at this overlook and move on about. Oh boy, it's pretty steep. It's not fall down there. How about? Oh, wow. That's why I'm out here. It's this stuff right here. But noticeably more fall color this weekend as compared to last. Alright, let's get going. See you at camp. Might actually still be light out. It's definitely pushing it though. Good morning from the Superior Hiking Trail. We're on day 2 here. Already having been a fantastic hike. Yesterday I ended up staying at the Fault Line Creek campsite. Shared a site with a student group from the University of Minnesota. So that was cool. That was where I went to college my freshman and sophomore year. So pretty fun to hang out with them a little bit. Was grateful that they were able to figure out some space for me to put up my tent. Yesterday I put in about 8.5 miles and actually got into camp. I think it was like 6:45 or something. It was just a little bit before dark, so at least it was not dark. Slept pretty good. It got pretty chilly. I'm pretty sure, I remember, I checked my thermometer shortly after I woke up and it said the low temperature it saw was, it was like mid-40s. I don't remember exactly what the number was, but yeah, mid-40s, which fine with that. It was just a little damp, but whatever. A little bit of condensation on the inside of the tent. So today, the plan is to hike all day, get through Split Rock, get through Gooseberry, and camp at one of the Gooseberry sites, kind of near the southern end of the trail in Gooseberry Park. We'll see how the timing is. Maybe I'll try to make it closer to the trailhead. The trouble is I think you gotta hike another like 3 miles or something like that to get to another campsite once you're past those Gooseberry ones. But then I think I'd only be like a mile from the trailhead where I'm getting picked up at Castle Danger. So we'll see. Oh, look, one of those grouse. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, no, that's pretty small. I doubt you'd be able to see it on the GoPro here, but maybe it'll let me get closer. Those things are all over here. Oh, it's waiting there. Sometimes you see them out ahead of you. Sometimes they'll bust out of the thicket right next to you and scare the crap out of you. You just never know. You never know with those things. They're kind of a neat bird. Beaver Pond site. You know, it wasn't so early in the morning I'd go check that out, but I can't see if that site's occupied. I don't want to surprise anybody. It's not worth it. I think I've been hiking for probably 45 minutes or so. I left camp at about 7:30. There's another one. Those crazy birds. Of course, the goal always is to leave by 7, but honestly, this time of year, it's hard to make that happen because, like, to be able to do that, you pretty much have to be getting ready in the dark for half the time. Which is not ideal. Wow, this is cool. Look at that, we can see the beaver pond anyway. All the birch trees in the background. I think those are birches. There's aspens out here too, so unless you're really close, it's actually kind of hard to tell. Honestly. At least for me. I'm not a tree expert at all. So, as part of my strategy to meet my goals this weekend, the most important of which is to have fun out here, I decided to stop at Caribou Coffee in Superior and snag myself a little red eye. So hauled it out in my mug, which it's not leak proof, but it's definitely spill proof, and I don't think I got it all over anything, but man, does that hit the spot. I don't know though. Is that cheating? I hauled it all the way out here, and I gotta haul my empty back to the trailhead, so I'm thinking no. Another creek bed that's not flowing. Ooh. It's a little iffy. Boy. Wow. I should be more careful. I literally thought that was going to break under me. Why do you gotta horse around like that? Was it worth it? Silly, silly, silly. Awesome. Looks like we're not too far from Split Rock. Right, we are at Split Rock, and I'm almost all the way down to the river. Whew. This is a nice little ridge walk, isn't it? Nice. So, definitely know there's going to be water down there. One thing that I hadn't really considered until after I looked at the map closer is, man, I don't know how close the trail gets you to the water. I might have to go real far down to even access it, but that's the water source, so I'll have to figure it out. Another thing I hadn't fully considered is that trailhead I parked at yesterday. You know, in planning this trip, didn't really think about the fact that that is the main trailhead for the hike to Bean and Bear Lake, which is literally one of the most popular, if not the most popular, hike in this whole area. And I was getting there, I was figuring at around 3 or 4 on a Friday this time of year. Man, so luckily it wasn't too much of a problem to get a spot, but there was definitely cars still parked on the road from earlier, but my big plans almost got blown up before I even started. So here at Split Rock, it looks like they got the what is it, eastern part of the trail closed. They're doing some maintenance to it, so you can kind of see the reroute in blue there at the bottom. We're kind of on the way on the right side of the map in the middle, but it's kind of unfortunate. It's kind of looks like it should be a real cool spot in the trail along the river there, but oh well, we'll have to come back and do that at a different time. So trail closed, we're gonna go this way. And actually the reroute is probably about half the distance, so that kind of sort of made it so I could get farther on my trip than otherwise. And there we have it, Lake Superior. Now, the decision is, I'll go down there, get water here, or should I get greedy and hold out hope that I can access it farther up. Just doesn't look like there's a whole lot of flow coming out down there. Yeah, well, I think we're just gonna get greedy. Ducks down there. And actually, right behind them, I wonder if that's a shipwreck or the remains of an old pier or something. I'm not sure. Alright, I think this is exciting. I like this crossing way better than the last one. Last one I had to cross the road at the surface, and that took a while. Even then, I thought I had a good opening, and water came up on me kind of fast, so that was exciting. This is my way to go here. Nice. Very, very nice spot for a tunnel for sure. Well, I wasn't able to get down to the Split Rock River to get water, but I did find this little side stream here, which is barely flowing, and presumably normally it would be a really sweet waterfall here, but not quite enough water for that right now. That's okay. Still looks pretty cool. On to Gooseberry. So this is a section of trail between, oh, what is it called again? Blueberry Hatch campsite and Gooseberry Falls. They just reopened this section of trail like a month ago only. Boy, did they do a nice job. A lot of boardwalks. And the spots that aren't, it seems like they must have hauled in some gravel to put on the trail, so it's a little bit smoother, not quite so rooty maybe, I don't know. But wow, definitely a nice part of the trail to make up some time on. Wow. But there's already downfalls on this thing, huh? It was actually kind of windy yesterday. This is just from yesterday, who knows? That tree is already dead, so hard to say, but nicely done, nicely done. Now this is the kind of water supply I'm looking for. Yeah, all the other little ones are totally dried up, so. It was worth the wait. I was kind of thirsty when I got here. Well, that was a nice break. Awesome water source. So it looks like the trailhead where I'm going to get picked up is we'll say almost 9 miles away. I believe that last campsite before there is like a mile from the trailhead, so talking 8 miles. From here to where I'm going to camp. That shouldn't take me much more than 4 hours, I don't think. So right at that bend is where I took my break. I should have paid attention to the map. I didn't realize the trail went right past there. I totally did a underwear change. I hope I didn't give anybody a show. If I did, I literally had no idea, so here's hoping. Pretty sure this is the start of a beaver dam. But the ends of all those logs are pointy. They're gnawed at by a beaver. That's pretty cool. Oh, yes, the trail had to hit me with one more of these. Oh, you want to go straight up a hill? Sure, why not? Usually though, when you get to the top, there's a nice view usually. We'll see about this one. This is our view coming up here. Let's see. Yeah, that's a view. A little bit obstructed by the trees, but that's okay. Well, it's well shit, I don't even know what time it is. What time is it? 10 to 5. And I made it to the Crow Creek Valley campsite. There's the fire ring. It's a huge site. Nobody here, which is awesome. There's definitely plenty of tent spots around if somebody else does come. There's one behind me, and there's kind of one across the creek. Well, it's a dry creek, of course, because every creek is dry just about, but kind of an interesting spot back there too. But I think probably gonna take this spot right here. Although is that the trail down there? Let's check that out. That'd be annoying. I don't think that's the trail. No. Another tent spot. Pretty sweet down here too. We gotta take this one. Decisions. Anyway, so last I checked, it's supposed to be raining basically right now. So I think before I eat, I'm gonna get my tent set up just so my stuff doesn't get drenched. And there's a lot of tent site spots back here. This one's really nice too, isn't it? I don't know, I'll figure it out. Anyway, put in over 20 miles today. Pretty happy with how that went. The hiking was way easier than last weekend, just generally speaking even, especially today. There's some spots that weren't too much of a struggle to do a little bit of jogging, so that helped. Boy, it's starting to look kind of mad out there. Alright, time to put up my tent. Alright, heading back to the car. So I ended up staying at Crow Valley Creek campsite. I ended up sharing the site with a couple from the Twin Cities. They came in after dark. They were kind of just looking for a camping spot to stay the night. So kind of showed them where the tent spots were, and they figured it out from there, basically. They're even nice enough to share a beer with me, which I appreciate. So I'm probably, I don't know, I'm only a mile, the site is only a mile from the car, so I suppose I'm probably about halfway there. Overall, great trip. Other than the wind last night, which was really annoying, kept waking me up, and the little bit of rain I got, like exactly when I wanted to eat dinner. Other than those two things, I almost liked the weather better this weekend compared to last. It was not quite as hot out. What else? So when all is said and done, my GPS recorder has got me for like 30 miles over this whole weekend. So exceeded my goal of 25. So one thing I decided to switch out before I went up here was my filter. I was using the Catadine Be-Free, which, when those things are new, man, nothing beats those things. They filter water so fast. But well, before last weekend, I realized that mine had slowed down to the point where I didn't think I was going to be able to live with it. I tried getting it cleared out, and nothing I did seemed to work that well. But there's a nice view. Hang on. valley behind me is acting like a wind tunnel there. Anyway, switched out the filter, or oh yeah. So my filter was slowing down way too much. I wasn't gonna live with that. Hang on, there's some steps here. So I borrowed my father-in-law's filters and brought one with, which I appreciate that he let me borrow them. I tested them at home. Yeah, they work great. But he did say that they were super clogged at one point, and he spent a lot of effort trying to get them unclogged. Anyway, well, with that in mind, so I'm on the trail, and after a while I'm using one of his filters. Look at this. Using one of his filters, and it kind of seemed like, man, it was giving me like zero resistance, which started making me nervous. So basically I started being kind of picky with my water sources. Well, there must not have been a lot of rain here in quite a while, because after a while I realized that a lot of the smaller streams that cross the trail were like either totally dried up, or they weren't flowing, or they weren't flowing quite enough, or were too shallow to get water from. So basically every single day I was on the trail last weekend, at some point or another I ran out of water and ended up going thirsty for quite a while. So it was kind of one of the reasons that I sort of gave up on the idea of trying to meet my goal, because I just didn't have enough water carry capacity. Man, it's windy. Anyway, so for this trip I brought with one of our Sawyer squeeze filters, and I don't know, that thing, it works fine, I guess. Basically what I did was I had one bottle as a clean bottle that I filter into, and I use that for like my drink mixes and stuff, electrolytes, whatever. And the other bottle would be the dirty bottle, and I would just like drink that as fresh water, just right from the Sawyer squeeze. That was fine. I brought one of those extra gaskets that those things need, and man, I swear I was gonna lose one every time. Well, at first I was tightening it too tight, I guess. It didn't take much, but you tighten those, well, at least on that one with that gasket, you tighten it too much and the gasket would kind of like ooze into the bottle opening. So then when you took off the Sawyer squeeze, it wouldn't be in the threads anymore. It would be stuck to the bottle. So I was just constantly paranoid about losing that. Now granted, I had an extra, but still. So that was kind of annoying. And then I realized too, I didn't really leave myself, well, and besides that, so besides the two bottles, then I also brought my 3-liter bladder, so I had more water carry capacity, because I figured between those things I would take care of it, which it did. But anyway, so The other thing with the Sawyer squeeze, with the way I did it, is I didn't really leave myself a great way to back flush the thing ever, being that my two bottles had different threads. So I'd had to rinse out the dirty bottle like pretty good first, and blah 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 blah. So it worked fine, but it was sort of a cluster. Ooh, nice view with the sunset. I don't know if this is gonna pick it up, but right, the sunset, the sunrise, right in the middle of the screen there. Anyhow, so using the Sawyer squeeze, it worked fine, I guess. It worked fine. But yeah, definitely, well, I ordered a platypus quick draw from REI last Monday, and it came while I was gone. So we'll have to see how that works. Probably a good thing it didn't come until after I left, because it would have been really tempting to go and try to use a piece of equipment that I've never used before on this trip, but it probably wouldn't have been a great idea. So yeah, all in all, awesome trip. A lot of great views. The fall color, especially this weekend, was just unbelievable. Definitely want to come back out here and do more sections of this. I think I want to try and see if I can section hike the whole trail. Not sure if I want to do 100-mile sections all at once all the time, but we'll see. I mean, if I do that, I'd only have to do that just like 2 more times. I think it's only like maybe a little bit more than, probably 3 more times, because I think it's only a 300-some mile trail. But we'll see. It was a fun challenge to attempt to do the 100. I do want to try to do a 100-mile trail hike again, and maybe next time I'll actually meet the goal. I mean, I think I would have been close last weekend, but just the whole water situation, I feel like, you know, regardless of anything else, me not trusting my filter I had and also not having adequate carry volume, that just wasn't gonna work. I mean, even this trip, I mean, I was carrying around a whole extra liter of water in my bladder basically the whole time, and I needed it. I needed it this morning. I'm basically down to like, I don't know, less than a half a liter. So anyway, until next time, we'll see you later.